let's see how can we deploy apps to the cloud using something new and cool called Now. Yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute. Let's see if it works or not. It's the first time we're doing that live. So the very first thing is, obviously, let's create an app. Yeah, I want to create a new app from scratch, literally, and then I'll try to deploy the app to push the changes to my GitHub account. And then once the changes on the GitHub account, I'll try to link my GitHub account with my cloud, more or less. So, I mean, I'm not going to actually spend a lot of time explaining all the setup steps, because this is something that you already know. It's something that you did on the 6th of January. You get a video, the very first video on Codely platform about Codeflix literally explains how to create a new app. So I will just follow the steps, but obviously feel free to interrupt me at any time. Yeah? So to create a new app, I simply have to type create React app space and then the name of your app. This is something that everybody here, literally everybody has done already. So then the name of the app could be whatever you want. Imagine that you're building your portfolio. Yeah. Maybe tomorrow you'll do that. I'm sure you'll do that tomorrow. So let me create a new folder called my portfolio, or simply portfolio, right? Portfolio. Of course, it's going to be my portfolio, not Esteban's portfolio. It's my laptop, right? So I create React portfolio, I press enter, and then, as you know, that will set up a new React application locally. So now we are downloading all the resources that we need in order to build a very sexy React application. That may take a couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes. So in the meantime, I would like to open my new portfolio in Visual Studio Code. So we just need to go to File, Open, and then identify the location of your new project. And then I think I created in the wrong folder. You see, that's one of the things I just noticed. Because by default, I don't create apps on my home folder, but I wanted to create apps on the new folder. That's fine, no worries. If you created the app in the wrong folder, we'll move it in a second. So let's wait until this finishes. It shouldn't take much longer, and then we'll proceed with the next step. Here you go. So now the app got created. Let me see if it's on the right or on the wrong folder. So yes, I created by accident. I created my portfolio inside of the Codely project. That's a bit weird, right? That was just a stupid mistake from my side, but that's fine. That's fine. Let me just move it. You know, I just move it in a folder. So if you're not familiar with the terminal, you go to your Window Explorer, Finder, whatever, and you just move the folder. Yeah, I'm not doing anything weird here. So move portfolio to the home directory, maybe. Looks like it worked. So if I go to my home directory, in theory, my portfolio should be here. Here you go. Yeah. So in theory, now my portfolio is on my home directory. So let's check if that's right or wrong. Look, that's right. So I'm on my home directory, even though you cannot see that. So I will just open the folder. Yeah. So there is nothing exotic so far. Just creating a new app and open it in Visual Studio Code. So the first thing that I want to do is, let's just start the server just to make sure that the app works. So to start the server, you go to the terminal, new terminal, and then how do you start the server, guys? npm start. So if I type npm start, let's see what happened. Can anybody tell me what that message means? Correct. By default, when you create a new app, it runs on port 3000. Yeah. When you want to check it, you go to localhost 3000. There can be only one application on each port, because you already have the Codeflix app running on port 3000. Now React cannot use it. That port is busy. Thankfully, it's asking you, hey, I cannot open the app on port 3000, but I can open it on a different port. Do you want me to try in a different port? So if you type Y, it means yes. Hopefully after a few very long seconds, the new app will open on my Google Chrome web browser. Yeah, it's still loading. Once again, the first time it takes sometimes a bit, but here you go. Yeah, that means that your new app is up and running. And of course, then now you can change a few things. So for instance, you go to app.js. When I create a new app, when I run a workshop, the first thing I do is I delete all my content and I set a title. This is my this is my portfolio, exclamation mark, yeah, something like that. Back to the browser, you know, it works, right? It's definitely okay. All right, so now the next thing is let's upload the app to GitHub. How do we add the app into GitHub? Well, we need to go to github.com. I mean, once again, you've done that already. If you don't remember how to link your local app with GitHub, check the second video on Codeflix where we explain how to upload it. Yeah, I'll do it quickly here. So you got your list of repositories, so you create a new one, and then you just set, you know, the name of your new repo. Let me call it portfolio. Not sure if I probably have another portfolio around. Oh no, it's good. Yeah, portfolio. Be careful, guys. Don't mark that tick. I know some of you, the first time you mark it, don't do it. Can anybody tell me why it's not a good idea to check that tick? That's not very precise. That's not the reason, Andrea. The reason is, when you install the app, Facebook already created that file for you with a lot of blah, 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 blah. Yeah? So you already got a README file. You already got the instructions of how to run the app. If you mark this, if you check the tick, GitHub will create another README file. So then you have a problem because you have two files with different, you have the same file with different content. You are likely to have a conflict. Who wins? Is it GitHub or is it Facebook? Yeah? To keep things simple, just tell GitHub, no, don't create any file. Don't create any single file. I want the repository to be completely empty. I will do all these things for you, right?
Is it only when we create the React app?
Yes. Okay. Yes, because when we create a React app, you got many files here, right? We didn't manually create any of these. So Facebook did that for us. Yeah? And one of these files, the controversial one, is called README. This is where you can find all the instructions about how to run the project, documentation, contributors, blah, 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 blah. All right, so, you know, yes, portfolio, all default, nothing weird, nothing exotic, create repository. And now, hopefully, yes, here you go. In a second, you see, there is literally nothing in here. There is literally nothing. So the next thing I will do is to link my laptop with my GitHub account. I already did the SSH thingy. You don't have to do it again. So in your case, you don't have to do it either. You remember the SSH steps? When you copy the key, you paste it. You remember that? Yeah. If you don't remember, once again, please watch the second video on Codeflix. All right. So does anyone remember what do I have to do next? Download Git. No, we've done that already. I mean, you download Git if you got a new laptop. Yeah? So for instance, Fiz got a new laptop recently, so she had to do that. But you are not going to change your laptop to work on your portfolio, so I got Git already installed. Correct, that's right, Andrea. We need to set the origin. We need to tell our laptop where our GitHub account is. Don't forget something, guys. Can you have multiple GitHub accounts? Why not, right? You can have multiple users. So we need to tell our laptop where our GitHub account is. And if you remember the steps, and that's why I like to create new projects from time to time, because this is something you don't do on a daily basis, right? So to be honest, it's easy to forget the details. So if you remember the steps, we need to copy that, the SSH, just copy that piece of URL on top of your screen, copy that, and now you go to your VS Code. And if I open the terminal again, let me find it. What is it? View terminal. I closed it by accident, I think. Here you go. Can I type any commands in here, guys? Why not? Correct, the server is running. I mean, technically speaking, yes, I can. But yeah, that won't work for sure, right? Nothing will work. So how do I interact with the terminal? Correct, you open a new terminal, you see that plus icon? That will open a new terminal. So now I can switch between the server, which is busy, and the fresh terminal where I can definitely type some commands. Yeah? So how do I link my laptop with my GitHub account? By typing git, I'm trying to remember on top of my head, git remote, that means, hey, I want to tell you something that is running remotely, if that makes sense. Origin is the name of your default master branch. Starting from task number 13, you will have the master branch and you will have other branches. So this is just a convention, that's like your default project. And then git remote origin, I think it was origin add, or it was add origin. Git remote, I think it was, no, it's on the other way around. I think it was git remote add origin. So git, that's git remote, go to the cloud and add the origin branch. That is the default one. Okay? And finally, you paste it. You paste, this is like the direction in the cloud of, first of all, your GitHub username, and then your project name, portfolio. So if you press enter,
This instructions in the page.
yeah, definitely. I mean, you can just follow the instructions here. That's, yeah, you want, you can, but the thing is, so for instance, the first step is wrong because you already got a README file, once again, yeah? So, but apart from the first step, yes, you can actually look. So I'm essentially doing that step, git remote add origin, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, if you want, I mean, let's start from top, yeah? Git init, so let's start again. Git init, initialize empty repository in blah, 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 blah. And now I don't want to do that, you see, so you need to skip all the README steps. And now, what else? What else? Let me have a look. All right, so if you remember the very first time, the thing is, oh, that's a bit confusing, guys. The reason why I don't like that is because this assumes you got no files. You create a project from scratch. But in reality, you got lots of files already. Facebook created them for us. That's why this is not right. Some of the steps are valid, but for instance, this step is wrong because it's telling you, please create a new file called README. No, I don't want to create a new file README that exists. Do that, that doesn't make sense. Yeah? So I'm not a big fan of this list.
Can we follow those if you go to the GitHub?
Yes?
Can we follow this one?
Or push an existing repository? No, neither, because you don't have an existing repository. So you created a new project with some existing files, but Git is not aware of that yet. So that's why you need essentially a combination of here you do too much, but here you don't do enough. Yeah? At the end of the day, it's just 3-4 steps you have to do from time to time when you create a new project. So first of all, git init, that's the first thing. So we tell, hey, this is a Git project, that's the first thing. And now, as you can probably notice, all my files and folders are green. You know what the U means? Untracked. That's correct. That means that even though this is already a Git project, Git is not going to attempt any action over these files and folders. So in other words, we need to tell Git, hey, please track all my files and folders. So if I change something, then make sure you understand that I changed something, and eventually it will commit and push that change. And to do that, and this is something we can do only once, look, git add, and then you type dot. Git add dot, just please pay attention to that column. U. If I type git add dot, A. What A means? Added, that's right, Andrea. Added, that means A. Now, whenever you change anything, Git will automatically understand this is a Git file and it will take some actions under the hood. Yeah, we don't have to understand the details about why this is happening, but just remember git init, and then git add dot. Only once. All right, so now in theory, we can commit and push. Yeah? Do you remember we can commit and push from the visual graphic user interface? Yeah? So let's commit. And to commit, we have to just set a message. Yeah? This is something you are doing on a daily basis, I believe. So we come here, and then we type the message. So I've seen many people typing wrong commit messages like first commit or works or tests. That's wrong, guys. Every commit message should describe the details of your changes. And you may be thinking, yeah, but I changed nothing, right? I just install a new app. That's fine, then describe that. In that case, my commit message will be something like initialize init new React project with create React app, something like that. Yes, a message describing your changes. How do I commit my change? Sorry about that. How do I commit my changes now, guys? Where do I click? In that tick icon. Yeah, you see the tick icon? You click here, commit. Are the changes now live on my GitHub account? No? So in other words, if I refresh the page, will I get my sexy files and folders here? No? Why not?
Because we didn't push.
That's right. Look, if I refresh the page, there is nothing yet. Because I commit the changes, that means they are saved locally somehow. They are copied locally, but they haven't been sent to the cloud. Yeah? So how do you push your changes? Three dots. And then what? Push. It's worth to mention that sometimes, the very first time you push to the cloud, it doesn't work using the graphic user interface. And it may not work simply because maybe it's the first time and Git is asking you, are you sure you want to proceed? But because Visual Studio Code doesn't understand the message, it just rejects, stops the action. I mean, let's try. If it works, fantastic. If not, we'll see what to do. Push. And then you got an error. Your repository has no remotes configured to push to. Right, add an origin. I thought I added the origin. You remember when we added the origin? I think I did that, but it looks like I didn't. Because of that, how do we check? I mean, that's unexpected. I don't know why it doesn't work, but let's debug the problem together. So how do we check if we link our laptop with our GitHub account? So I can type git remote -v. That will list the list of origins. Oh, I got nothing. I thought I had that. Maybe I didn't. All right, because maybe I didn't, let's do it again. I copy the origin, you see, I copy that, and now git remote add origin, and you paste it. So now let me check if the origin is there or not. Maybe I didn't press enter, I don't remember, right? But now it clearly looks like that if I press git push, it will send my code here to the cloud. So let's try again. We go to the git tab, 3 dots, push. That's much better. That's much better. You got a warning that probably you cannot read, but I'll read it for you. The branch master is new, blah, 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 blah. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. And now look at the tiny loading bar. Yeah? It means, in theory, it's sending the changes to the cloud. And unless you get any error, we didn't get any error, thankfully, it looks like the changes got successfully persisted to the cloud. So far, I've done nothing new, literally nothing new. I just follow the steps you follow on the first day of the bootcamp. Yeah? I mean, if I refresh the page, should my portfolio project be here? Let's look. Refreshing. Oh, nice. Nice, nice. And you can see I got my init new React project, blah, 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 blah. So it's definitely my changes got persisted. So that's the first step. That's the first step. We have to save our portfolio, even if you got nothing, but we have to save something on GitHub. Why? Because our cloud provider will take our files from our GitHub account. If you got no GitHub account, if you got no project, there is nothing we can do, right? So that's like the setup of your GitHub. All right, so then when we got that, let's talk about the cloud provider. I mean, once again, I'm not an expert on this technology. This is something I think very new. It's a few months old, as far as I know. So if you ask me a tricky question, I won't be able to answer. The only thing I know is we've been playing with it for a couple of months and it looks really good. That's all we know, right? Of course, if you have any sort of negative experience dealing with it, let us know, and because opinions are dynamic. So you may like something, like you may like someone, and you may not like him or her, and vice versa, right? So, yeah, this is a live discussion. So, what's the name of the technology? Let me go to Google and let me show you. So, the technology, the cloud provider is called Now, and it's offered by a company called SET. I don't even know how to pronounce that, guys. Site, correct, Site. Correct. So now from Site, if you click on it, first result, world-class static hosting. So in a future workshop, most probably towards the end of the bootcamp, we will, or maybe you will see who does that. Someone will talk about different cloud providers. We will compare Now versus Heroku versus GitHub Pages versus AWS versus Google Cloud Platform versus Microsoft Azure. So we'll do like a high-level comparison about the different cloud providers. Yeah. So we will see obviously the limitations of this tool. I mean, this is not going. If you plan to build the next Facebook, this won't be enough. Yeah, it has some strong limitations. But to build something simple like your portfolio, things like that, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Yeah. All right. So let's click on the link. Obviously, you need to sign up. Blah 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 blah. You know all these things, right? Because I've done that already. You get a free plan. I mean, this is one of the reasons why we are using it. I don't know actually the limitations of the free plan. Yeah, so you can actually, you got some limitations. Yeah. So once again, if you want to build something very complex, at some point you may need to find an alternative. Yeah, or maybe you just pay for it. Yeah, if you like the service, just pay for it. But the good thing is it got a free plan. It looks really good to me. So let's play with it a bit. So let's see what we got. I got already a couple of projects already linked, but I don't want to link existing projects. I want to link a new project. So how do we do that? Look, new project, and then there are different ways that we can link projects. Yeah? In this particular case, as you can imagine, I want to create a new project from a project that is on my GitHub account. So let me select from my GitHub, and now here I can select a project from GitHub. As you can see, my new portfolio is not listed here. That's because of permissions, blah, 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 blah. So how do we grant access? Edit your repository access settings. So if I click here, then, so you see I got redirected to GitHub, and on GitHub, I need to select which projects, which repositories can be publicly available or linked or something like that. You see at the moment, I've just enabled 2 projects individually. I mean, if you don't want to mess around, you can enable all the repositories, and that's fine. But because I have some private repos, including Codery, I'm not a big fan of giving access to Codery to someone I don't trust. Yeah? But that's up to you. Depends on how you estimate your privacy, guys. So if I only select some repositories, hopefully if I type portfolio, here you go, you see? That's my new repo. So now, portfolio in theory should be available to now. So if I save, and now I go back to the other tab, and I refresh this page, so hopefully it will be here. Give me a second. It's thinking, still thinking. It's thinking a lot, right? It shouldn't think that much. So let me cancel and try again, right? So new project from GitHub. Here you go. And look, it's even it's highlighting the portfolio. You cannot see that, but this is like grayed out, and this is white because it's a new project. Like, hey, yeah, look, select this one. Yes, thank you. Selected, and then what? Look, import. I mean, to be honest, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just checking how intuitive this tool is. Yeah, based on my experience, how easy or how difficult it is to import a new project from GitHub to the cloud. All right, so I click import. And then what? I don't know. Let me see what the message is here. Portfolio. Yes, look. Oh, right. Good. Look. Building. So now it's trying to deploy the app from GitHub to now. That process used to take 30 seconds. You will see on task number 17, you will get more details about what actually building means. So essentially now React is creating an optimized version of your app for the cloud. Yeah. So, oh, look. That's great, ready. That's fantastic. Oh, look at that. I even got a screenshot of my app. That looks very promising, guys. That's super cool, right? So if I click on the screenshot, hopefully, if my user experience expectations are right, I should be redirected to a URL, public, that I can actually click. And oh God, that works. Yeah, that works. So I can take that URL, and then I can paste it on Slack. And then that means that if you click on that link, in theory, you should be able, can anybody please click on the link and see if it works? It works? Fantastic. So that's fantastic. Easier than ever. I mean, listen, historically speaking, you always had to install some type of local software to send it to the cloud. I think that's still optional, so you can install software, but the thing is I didn't have to. Yeah? I didn't have to install any software from that company. Yeah? Because it got my code from the cloud, which makes sense if you think about it. Yeah? So let's do something. All right, so now it works, but how can I do changes? Okay, so you've deployed the first version, you are super excited about that, but let's keep working on the portfolio. Yeah, you spend a few hours working on it, and you want to deploy new changes to the cloud. So let's build some changes. Sexy portfolio. And let's change the CSS as well, guys. So let's do, for instance, let me remove some CSS. I want to see if it takes my CSS changes. I never done that. So, for instance, color. Give me a sexy color, guys.
Ben.
Which one?
Ben.
Something more complex than that.
Sexy.
Which one?
Golden rod.
Golden road. I like that. Golden road. All right. So golden road, and then now be careful, because now you can refresh your page and say, "Hey, it doesn't work." Why it doesn't work? I'm refreshing the cloud. Yeah, that's wrong. I haven't deployed my change to the cloud, so be careful, be careful. Go make sure you are pointing to your local host, which is here. Yeah, all right. So once you are happy with Alex golden road color, do you make that up? Do you know the color existed, Alex? Okay, cool. All right, so now what's next? All right, let's simply commit and push. If my expectations are satisfied, just by committing and pushing, now should understand that I want to make new changes available to my audience. Does it make sense? So new commit, updating the title and changing the color to golden road. All right, so now commit, push. And then what? So first of all, did GitHub pick my changes? How do you know that? Yeah, but all right, so we can assume, all right, GitHub, yeah, portfolio, yes. So GitHub is okay, but now the important question is, oh, look, I was super quick. You see, it reset the counter. So is that possible? Did now deploy my changes so quickly or not? Yeah, I'm genuinely curious. I don't know if that worked or not. I mean, the picture looks wrong, right? The picture looks wrong. Let's click on it and see if it works or not. Oh yeah, it works. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it takes a while to update the screenshot. Maybe I have to refresh the page. I mean, to be honest, even if it is, oh look, it works. So, yes, so that's super cool, guys. I'm very impressed. I'm genuinely impressed. Yeah? Commit push, boom, works. It takes you 1 minute, boom. Yeah. So Yeah, once again, to me, that's a new tool. And I'm very impressed to the point that if I wanted to deploy a new app to the cloud, something basic, that's my new favorite tool. Yeah, I'm sure there will be some problems, blah, blah, blah. I don't know the free plan. Maybe if you deploy 10 times, it stops working. I don't know. But this is something you need to play with, right? But so far, that's my new favorite way to deploy apps to the cloud. Cool, so that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. Yeah, it goes without saying that this is new, but in the past we used something different. If you are curious, in the past we used something called GitHub Pages. So GitHub Pages is a built-in mechanism, is something similar that comes with GitHub, which makes sense, right? I mean, if you deploy your code to GitHub, why GitHub don't give you a mechanism to make that code available to your audience? So it does, GitHub Pages, but we stopped using it because it fails a lot. It fails a lot. You deploy and you get a message, yes, it worked, but then you refresh and it doesn't work, and you don't know why, you don't get any logs. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. Yeah? I accept things not to work as expected, but at least give me a hint why this is not working. Don't tell me yes or good if nothing works, right? So we end up stopping using GitHub Pages. However, if you're curious about the cloud, if you want to add a new line to your CV, what cloud services do you know? I know Now, and I also know GitHub Pages. It's relatively easy to learn. It's relatively easy. But just be careful. That may not work as expected sometimes. All right, so yeah, that's essentially what you will do tomorrow. So if you have any questions about this process, just refer to this session. Hopefully it will be useful. Any questions?
I'm saying it's very, very straightforward.
It's very straightforward. Yeah, it is. Yeah. One day in your life, you'll have to deal with more complex cloud providers like AWS or Google Cloud Platform, and these are way more complicated. Yeah, way more complicated. Of course, more powerful. Yeah, but we'll talk about that in the future. So nothing else. Nothing else means nothing else, or nothing else means I have a question, but I'm sure the question is stupid and I don't want to ask that. But it turns out that everybody's thinking that, and that means that the question is never resolved. All right, I try my best, guys. Thank you.